Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Hejin Lee with an evening update for Bitcoin, and what an exciting day today was. So this is the chart that we are left with, and many of you were scared out of shit today, and that's okay. It's normal, very human. But I can tell you that if you embark on the road to self-proficiency in your analysis, it won't get the better of you. You'll still feel it. You'll still every now and then make a dumb mistake, but learn from it. And everyone will make mistakes no matter what. I still make mistakes. I mean, I never claim to be even anything close to someone even being close to being perfect. My God, I mean, you should see my losing streaks. I do get losing streaks, people, and you may see it one of these days. It's going to come because I'm not perfect. No one is. So when you feel those pain, the emotion, the feel, you're only human and it's quite normal. And when you make a mistake, if you sell out of panic, and if you do anything silly, the first thing you should do is stop yourself from blaming yourself. The second thing you should do is stop yourself from blaming others. Take responsibility. And when I meant first, when you stop yourself from blaming yourself, is don't be so hard on yourself. I guess that's what I should have said. So two, don't blame anyone else. Don't blame Hedgen. Don't blame your brother who told you to buy it. Don't blame your wife who's yelling at you, making your day even worse. You need to be, you need to own the whole thing. Have you noticed that in your life, whenever things just go down the toilet, you're always the one who's there to see it go down the toilet? Right? When shit hit the fan, you're the only one always to see it happen. You got to own the whole situation. But the third thing I think that's really important, you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself for making a mistake because you make mistakes. That's what human beings do. No one's perfect. And then the fourth thing you should do is learn the lesson. What did I do? What did I do? What was this environment? What was the situation? Usually you should think, what was I thinking and what was I feeling that caused me to do that? What were your thoughts and what were your feelings? I was panicking. I was afraid. And mostly fear and panic arise because of unknowns. You don't know what's going to happen. And I'm trying to put in this blog. I started this blog to see if I can share with my fellow STEMians in the community that maybe there is a way that you can peek around the corner. That there is an algorithm, not a computer algorithm, but an algorithm nevertheless, of using Elliott waves combined with chart pattern recognition that'll allow you an opportunity to peek around the corner of time from the perspective of probable outcomes. Not certainty. No one offers you certainty. And if anyone says they are certain on their analysis and guarantees you or whatever, turn around and don't walk but run. Technical analysis is nothing more than a reproducible process of identifying as many possibilities and from there reducing it to a handful of probable outcomes and then identifying your primary probable price pathway and a secondary and sometimes a tertiary. And if you're armed with that process, you identify as many possibilities, you identify your probabilities, and you select your first, second, and third, rank order them, the variations that you've seen of all possibilities to the selected probabilities, the variation of what is possible will be in your mind. And when something like this happens, you will not be really surprised. 2 days ago, I was saying a correction is approaching. Sure enough, here it is. Now, is it done? I don't know. Could it be done? Maybe. So let's take a look. Let's do some chart high resolution microscopy. So here, what do you see? If you have had a chance to review my tutorials, and you know, when I was when I was in elementary school, I was a very poor student. I was a top 10 underachiever. I'll admit it. and the teacher just couldn't get anything inside my thick skull. And what worked for me at that time was repetition, repetition, repetition. And the best teacher is someone who's so patient, but highly repetitive until the lesson is learned. And I'm going to take that example. You've got to take an initiative to learn this stuff. You can't just sit there and be spoon-fed, because there's no happiness to be found in being spoon-fed very complicated, very sophisticated analysis like this. You have to be able to do it on your own. Go review the tutorial 1, 2, and 3. Not once, 5 times each, 10 times each if you have to. Review the laddering. This is a gem. If you haven't seen this video, you're missing out on how to control your emotions. If you haven't seen this video, you're missing out on when to take profits and when to buy. I mean, this is a gem. These two is like the diamond and the gold. And I actually give you a laddering example of how to ladder yourself in. When you see me writing in my blog, ladder in, you should know exactly what that means after watching these 3 tutorials. And then a tutorial on how to use Fibonacci with elite waves. Watch it. Spend some time. Get up a little early in the morning. Half an hour a day. Watch 1 video. Practice counting. And a good way of practicing to count, I'll show you. Then buy these books. If you have been following me for over a week, and you don't have these books yet or have not yet ordered it, shame on you. You've got to invest not even a 1.5 Litecoins in these 2 books. And I also put in my trading nuggets. I have an essay on why I think technical analysis is a quantum event. Those are, you don't have to, you can put those later now, but you gotta do the tutorials. You can look at the videos first, and that'll be a good primer to the Elliott wave principle. Okay, so please, you gotta take the first step. So here, what do we see? There's a type of a correction called a zigzag. So let's see if we have got a zigzag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me see if the 4, oh yeah, there's 4. Yes, 4 overlaps. One of the Elliott rules, which you will know once you watch and study the video, is that wave 4 cannot overlap with wave 1. So you're thinking, well, jeez, how the hell do I count this thing now? I mean, this has to be 1. No, it doesn't. Nothing has to be anything in Elliott waves. There's a lot of flexibility on how you can count it. So let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can say these are 5. Technically, it is correctly labeled. Okay. But is it an impulse? That's the key. For now, let's keep it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks very three-wave-ish. A, B, C. Looks very three-wave-ish. Which means I think we've got another dip coming, potentially. Like this. And this dip could give what I just put in on EOS, the time to rise, as Bitcoin corrects, and EOS USD will correct too, but maybe not as hard. This will give an incremental increase to the EOS BTC price. So here's one scenario. 5, 3, and you can have, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops, sorry, I screwed that up. Try again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is one scenario you can have. And what you're looking at is A, B, and C. So anyone who's seeing this thinking, oh my God, we can't go back to 8,300, that's unacceptable. You got to grow up. That is why, as I said in one of my earlier posts, that technical analysis really instills emotional maturity in you. It truly does. because you see things in a different light. So we have A, B, C as one potential. What else can we have? So let's get rid of this. The other possibility is that we did completely maybe finish the correction. You can say we have A, B, and C was really long. But what's the problem with this? And you might want to think, it'll be extremely rare for this to be this quick. I'd be surprised. Why? Because of the hurry up and wait syndrome. Now, I do know that Bitcoin doesn't have it as bad as the altcoins. So there is a chance that this correction could be done. If so, how would you know that it's done? If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, an impulse. Oh no. Just move these aside for now. If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it's done. If it's impulsive. But so far it looks three-wave-ish. So let's see what happens. So we'll make this alternate count. Okay, now I want to take a look at this. So this I had drawn before. I showed it this morning. It's a healthy correction, people, in my opinion. If we see an ABC, and we see a down to 85, 8600, that's okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we'll have 5. I believe 5 will be extended. And ultimately, not ultimately, but as it progresses, we should hit the 13,000s. Now here is another scenario. Except for what I changed just now, it was original to what I had. Now, this channel is not the same as this channel. This channel is different. This channel begins on the 13th on an hourly scale. This is on a 4-hour scale, which begins in June. So it's a much longer channel. And this is significant. The longer the timeline from a channel point of view, the more impact it will have. So we have here now 1, 2, 3. Price pierced above this decisively, the white upper resistance line of the channel. Now it's going to come back down. Maybe it'll only come back down to 99.95 or so. Hit the channel. But it could briefly pierce the channel to 8,400, which makes sense to this. And then rise again to give us 13, 14K. Now, notice how I have the blue is subwaves to 3. And then if I find subwaves to this blue 3, everything kind of fits in as a puzzle piece. If you've started reading the book or have already read the Elliott wave principle book, it states that Elliott waves occurs at all degrees of trend at the same time. In other words, you'll find Elliott waves in 1 minute time frame, 1 hour time frame, 4 hour time frame, daily time frame, but they all fit together. That is the fabric of sentiment in the reflection of time, modulated by the Fibonacci ratio, 0.618. So don't be too concerned about corrections, I think. Because in order to continue this up, you need a stairway, a step, a ladder-like, step-like incline. It doesn't become a beeline, vertical line. Nothing goes up forever. There has to be a correction. And if you expected everything to continue going up and up and up, that's silly. You have to expect corrections. So I guess that's the lesson of the day. In a bull market, always expect corrections. And that will allow you to have the framework to have the trend on your side, to find the trend. Even if it came down to heel with the correction, that's okay. The trend is still up. Even in this correction, after this correction, at this level here, after an ABC is done, what happens? The original trend resumes, and that is up. And always remember, in that video I say, best time to buy is at the terminal end of an ABC correction. So if you haven't bought any, and if we do this, I'm not saying that this is the highest probability, but if this happens, the best time to buy is here, ladder in. Ladder in at the end of the terminal end of the C. And during the day, I put out some posts to. I just knew that many were going through stomach churning, mortifying experiences after seeing today's probably initial correction. And the lesson of the day today is 1, expect the corrections. 2, corrections are healthy in a bull market. 3, if you're pretty confident that you have the trend on your side, the trend becomes your friend. Okay. I hope this has been helpful. And as always, I wish you all massive profits. Massive profits are to be made. And I hope I have earned the right to ask you for your upvotes. Now, I have been seeing my views skyrocket, the number of views per blog I get, and I think that's great. But if you count the number of upvotes to the number of views, it's pretty minimal. For those of you who do view my blog or watch my video, it would be really helpful if you can take the time to give me an upvote, because that'll give me a certain level of increase in visibility. And for my blog, visibility is the key, so that people can read it and perhaps have an opportunity where my analysis can help augment their due diligence, and maybe they can find some help in it. All right. Have a calm, good night.